So I've written and posted this online before, but I want to make a video about it. The other thing I'm passionate about is advocating for violent offenders. For one, in case you didn't know, violent offenders, there's no classes in therapy. There's no mandatory therapy and stuff in jails and prisons. Most people don't get mandatory therapy or classes as a sentence, as part of their sentence. You also got people that are falsely accused of a violent offense when they did not commit a violent offense. Okay? The other one is, even if somebody did commit a violence, nobody's forcing them into classes. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misinformation out there. Also, not all violence is bad. A lot of it's self-defense. And America's not talking about that. So even if it's self-defense, you have a criminal record. People act like all violence is wrong. No, it's not. Especially when it's weird when Book of Mormon and Bible talk about violence, especially the Book of Mormon. And everybody's okay with Nephi stabbing a man, chopping a man's head off. I have a big problem with the double messages, with the hypocrisy of Mormons. They will be okay with Nephi chopping a head off and different violences, a lot of different violences in the Book of Mormon. But have fits when people are either falsely accused or accused of violence in today's world. And then just criticize and assume the life of people with violent offenses on their criminal records. It is very, very wrong to assume, judge, criticize people's circumstances. And people are assuming that they're getting classes. They're assuming that it wasn't self-defense, stuff like that. Or they're assuming that an accusation is true when it could be false. Alright, there's so many arguments out there and discussions and comments in this world, and it needs to be cleared up. Jail and prisons is not the answer. Not long term. They need classes. And then plenty of people are in for jail for a few years, prison for a few years. They get out. They now can't get a job. They now can't get housing because of violence on the record. Even if it was self-defense, even if it was a false accusation, even if all different reasons, even if they didn't get classes because nobody told them to do classes, but then you're going to assume that they got the help they need or deserve in any way. Then they're stuck not having a job, not having housing. And then a lot of these people are alcoholics or drug users, so they relapse because they're so depressed, because they can't get anywhere in life. There's so many things that people do not comprehend that I want people to comprehend, and that's why I make my videos on YouTube. In case you didn't know, that's why I make my videos. That's why I write the things I write. I've written for a long time. I've made constant writings that I need to repost online, on various websites, and I need to make other videos because enough is enough with the bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit. And I want the truth to come out because people need to know the truth about these men and women, old or young. People need to know the truth, that they're not getting the help you think they're getting. And then we deprive them of jobs and housing, or helping them with a business, starting a business or something. But then you guys want to cry and whine about all the homeless people or addicts, alcoholics, but you're not helping them. And then they relapse or they die and kill themselves. Because relapse, we could talk about relapse, and some people, like me, I'm one, that sometimes I think that drug addiction and relapse is nothing but a suicide attempt. Because I think a lot of them are. And what does that say about this nation, our families, our friends, our associations, our workplaces, our schools? What does that say about our communities? When you're letting this happen and you're not helping them, you're enabling them, you're ignoring them, you're avoiding them. Okay, none of those equal help. And I need people to help people. Because there's a lot of bullshit and there's a lot of lies. Just because someone's violent doesn't make them bad or wrong. You're okay with the Book of Mormon full of violence, extreme violence, all over the Book of Mormon. You're okay with the violence in the Bible. And Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon Church, went to jail over and over again, or arrested over and over again. But yet, Mormons and Christians judge, criticize, and assume the life of modern-day criminals. This is wrong, evil, tyranny, abuse of power. And enough is enough of the bullshit. It's straight up bullshit. Enough is enough of abuse and neglect of helping people. Because you want to come up with invalid, illogical, unreasonable excuses to not help people. It doesn't cut it. There's people like me that exist, and we see right through your bullshit. And I'm going to straight out call you out on it. And I want other people to call out other people on it. Because this is straight up bullshit, and it's ridiculous. It's hypocritical. It's nonsense. And like I said, it's illogical. It's unreasonable. Enough is enough. Get to know people's stories. Get to know people's stories. Get to know people. Talk to people. Get to know them. And help them. They need help. I'm sick of the drug overdoses. I'm sick of the alcoholism. I'm sick of people still using drugs because they're not getting the help they need. They're depressed. And they're depressed for a reason. Maybe they have anxiety for a reason. Maybe they have PTSD for a reason. They need help. Some people abuse children and teenagers. They need help. They need help. Maybe a parent was an alcoholic, a violent alcoholic, or a drug user. And so they didn't get the help they needed and they deserved as a child growing up. And maybe you need to help them and stop judging them, stop criticizing them, stop assuming their life, stop ignoring them, stop avoiding them, and stop enabling them. Because that's what this nation is doing to their family members, their friends, their associations, their classmates, their churches, church members. It is wrong. It's wrong on all levels, neighbors, everybody. It's wrong on all levels, and that's why I speak and make the videos I write. That's why I write and make the writings I write. That's why I do everything that I do in my life. Because God says that there's value in people. He says with God all things are possible. There's so many scriptures. God believes people can change. How do you know that they haven't already changed? People need to stop assuming, stop judging, criticizing. And along with all of this, stop disrespecting people that have served their time, paid fines, done community service. Stop disrespecting people that did their time. They did their time. Stop whining and bitching about violent offenders or anybody else with a criminal record that did their time. Stop being bitches. Stop being rude. Stop being abusive to people that have done their time. Because now it's your time to stand up. Because now you're angry they're out of jail or prison or whatever, or rehab or whatever. And you're mad because now it's your time to help them. And pick up the pieces. And you're mad about that? Why are you mad about helping somebody and seeing the worth in somebody? It is so wrong when people are mad about that. It's wrong on all levels. When you're going to pretend that your family members and your friends and your associations are not criminals because they have no criminal records, just because they've not been caught with their crimes, that you think those people are better than people with criminal records, I disagree highly. And it's very hypocritical and very abusive of Christians and Mormons and other people to do this. It's wrong on all levels. There's a reason why some people stop going to church. There's a reason why some people remove their church records. There's a reason why some people hate on church members of any religion. Because of the hypocrisy. Because of the abuse. People are enabling, avoiding, or ignoring people, or lying about people, and it's wrong. Abusing people, and it's wrong. It needs to end. It needs to end through people like me and other people that speak up, stand up, and write, and speak, and everything. It is enough of the bullshit and the lies. Enough is enough of the abuse and the neglect. Enough is enough of the avoidance, the ignoring, the enabling, all of it. It is disgusting. It disgusts me. It's disturbing on all levels. I know for a fact that a lot of people were abused as children, and so they did not have the opportunity growing up. Then they self-medicated, and they had never had the opportunity like other people. They had a lot of trauma, and they've not had the opportunity that everybody else has. So you need to help them step up, stand up, write in public, speak, and if people do hate these people, okay, then why aren't you speaking? Why aren't you helping them? Why aren't you teaching the classes or being a life coach? Because guess what? That's a career that's very needed, very highly needed. Is we need more life coaches, we need more public speakers, we need more writers, we need more people to publish stuff. We need more of a lot of things in the society, and this is one huge arena that is much highly needed. Not just doctors and nurses and everybody else out there. We need people, not just teachers, not just regular teachers at schools. We need life coaches. We need teachers teaching people about domestic violence and violent offenders. Teach them teach them communication skills. Teach them how to find peace. Teach them how to cope. Give them life skills. If you're so mad and angry about these people, then why aren't you teaching them life skills? You know? Stop assuming that they have life skills. Stop assuming that they've been taught. Or maybe they need retaught. Stop assuming, judging, and criticizing, and help your community. Help your friends and family that need the help because they're screaming and crying for help in their own way. And that they shouldn't even have to help, ask for help. That you should just see, observe, and go and help people. Help your friends, help your family, help your associations, help anyone that you know is a drug user, a recovering addict, an alcoholic, someone that suffers from domestic violence relationships, abuse. Help them because they need help, they want help. Stop assuming and judging. Stop criticizing. Stop assuming that they don't want help. Stop assuming that they haven't changed or that they don't want help or they haven't learned from their life experiences because yes, they have. Yes, they have. And the thing is, you've never once talked to them, so you don't know that they've learned from their experiences. Instead, society is assuming, especially government officials and anybody that supports the government, is you guys assume and walk all over people and pretend that people haven't learned from their life experiences. And it really sickens me. It sickens me to the core, the abuse of power going on. I also know that for a fact that there's people running for government all the time that want to be harder on criminals. So I'm going to be making more videos and more writings and more public speaking because I disagree about being harder on criminals. No, you've already been doing the hard stuff. It's time to do something different. Do something way different. Because you guys also assume that they don't get out in a few years or jail and prison or rehabs. And then they don't have the skills, the communication skills, the how to have peace and joy and how to organize their life and this and that. Stop assuming, stop judging, stop criticizing, stop thinking that you're better because you haven't been caught with your crimes, because you've never been arrested or thrown in jail or prison, or you've never suffered from drug addiction or alcoholism, domestic violence issues. Stop acting like you're better than them. Stop acting like it, because you or your friends and family or your associations have not been caught with your crimes does not mean that you're not a criminal. Does not mean that you're innocent. So when people are judging and criticizing and assuming the life of criminals, guess what? Guess what? How do you know they're not the biggest criminals? Yes, they are. The ones that walk all over criminals and want to be harder on criminals, guess what? They're the biggest criminals themselves, and they're hiding crimes with themselves, their friends, their family, their associations. Because the most evil people out there are people with no criminal records. So stop pretending people with no criminal records are not criminals. Stop pretending they're not guilty. This is especially, the other reason why I speak about this is for people, parents that hire babysitters or nannies and stuff. You need to go off of vibes, intuition, not a criminal record. Because people that don't have criminal records, they're not innocent. Stop pretending they are. You need to handle everything differently. This is a different world. There's so many evil people, so many criminals that do not have a criminal record, that have never been arrested or in jail. Just because they've never been caught yet, not mean they're not a criminal. So this is especially going out to parents in regards to who they have babysitting or nannying. Do not go by a criminal record. Do not. I know so many evil people with criminal records. It's not even funny. That do not have criminal records, never been arrested and jailed. So stop pretending people are a certain thing because of face value. Do not go by that. And it's another thing that I've been preaching in my writings and videos in the past. I'll make more and more of it because, like I said, enough is enough of the abuse, tyranny, the hypocrisy, the lies. Enough is enough. Me and my friends, me and my associations, we say enough is enough. And I'm starting a revolution. It's a revolution. It's a new world. And we're all fighting back. So sure, be harder. Do all the criminal, nasty things you want to do to people. But I'm gathering my army, my groups. And yes, we're fighting back. Because this is bullshit. This is disgusting. This is abuse. This is tyranny. This is criminal and evil, what people are doing. Get to know people, help people, do not enable them, avoid them, or ignore them. Help your neighbor because that's what Jesus Christ said. Help your neighbor because that's what God said. Help your neighbor because that's what morality and ethical and logical and reasonable says. But even if you're not religious, it's logical, it's reasonable, it's ethical to help people. Help people because it also helps yourself.